Welcome back, joined by Championship correspondent Pascal Lemire to preview Saturday's clash between Norwich and Huddersfield. Pascal, starting with the home side, ended their winless run last time out.
It was 4 games without a win. Real trouble they were under Neil Adams. They started tumbling down the table, and they went to Wigan, who are 23rd in the table, really struggling themselves. And it was a really poor game. I watched the whole game, and they got the early goal through Johnny Howson. Nice hold-up play by Hooper, laid it off to Howson. They could have maybe gone 2-0 up, but apart from that, it was a bit of a nothing game. In the second half, they did not really offer much. Wigan didn't offer much themselves, but they were better than Norwich in the second half and could have maybe stole a point. But yeah, it wasn't, even though it's a win, and it's important to those 3 points, that'll be a big boost then, but the performance wasn't great, and that's what Adams will want. He needs good performances if they're going to have any chance of sort of getting back towards the top of the table where they were at the start of the season. It was their first clean sheet in 5 games, which is a bonus, but yeah, there's a long way to go for Norwich. They need a really good run of form because the performances they've shown recently, even though they won that game against Wigan, it wasn't good enough, and yeah, they need to improve drastically.
Moving on to the visitors, also ended their winless run against Brentford last time.
Yeah, that was such an impressive win because everyone knew about Brentford's form going into that game. Brentford had won 5 in a row going to the Gal Farm, and they're not going to keep winning games all the time. But I think for Huddersfield to beat them, that was a bit of a surprise really because Huddersfield, they've been a bit inconsistent recently under Chris Powell. They had that great spell, sort of in November under him, but been disappointing recently, but that win against Brentford was so impressive. And Sean Scannell again came up big for them. He's been a huge player for them in the past month. I think that was his 100th appearance for Huddersfield that day. He scored the opener, and then it was his presence that Jake Bidwell, he scored the only goal. It was Scannell being in the box that Bidwell forced it home himself. So yeah, he's been a huge player for them. And they were sort of like Norwich going into that game. I think they'd lost 3 of the last 4, and to get back to winning ways. So I think both teams were going into this game quite confident because of the wins they had last weekend.
So who are you backing to come out on top?
Yeah, I mean, I've backed Norwich to win at home so many times this season at Carrow Road, and they've let me down, because you look at the quality of their squad, and if they don't start picking up wins, will their players want to leave in January? Because they've still got quality players. I think John Ruddy's been linked away recently, and Neil Adams will be desperate for some wins so they can start climbing the table, and he can tell the players that might be thinking about leaving, look, we're in a good position, we can get promotion this season. So I think this is a bigger game for Norwich than Huddersfield, and I just hope they can sort of improve their form at Carrow Road, because the amount of times I've backed Norwich to win at home and they haven't this season. So I'm going to back them again, though, 2-0.
So also going for a 2-0 Norwich win.